All right, so I'm gonna start recording the class now. Okay, I'm glad to see you finally here, Ingrid. I know you have been wanting to join, but you haven't been able to, so I'm glad that you made it today. So welcome,
Thank
welcome.
you.
Okay, so today we're going to continue looking into passives. Last class, we had an activity that I posted on the Aula Virtual, and of course, I also put it in the group. Yes, so what I want to do now is check what the answers we got and see how we did it. If there were any kind of questions about them or anything like that, we can go over them, yeah? So I send you a link about passives, yes? So let me check. Here we have the overview, questions. Here we go. And
I couldn't do it. I forgot it. But I'm going to do it right now if you let me.
all right, so here it is the link. So you can, if you haven't done it, you can do it and then we can check the answers. Yeah. Ingrid, avíseme cuando haya terminado, ¿ya? Para poder revisar las respuestas.
Okay. Ya. Es que hice los dos, ya me di cuenta que era el del chat de aquí. Hice los dos links que estaban en el chat del WhatsApp. Sorry.
All right. Let's see here. The delegation was met at the station by the students yesterday. All of the students got it correct. Yeah, here's the percentage of the accuracy. So there are some people. No. 1% got it correct, and then the other people did not. 43%. It says, I hope that the truth will be found very soon. And this is to talk about the future. Everything had been done before you came. The inspector is not in the town. He was sent to another place some days ago. Number 5, it was assumed that the government would do something to relieve the situation. New sources of energy are being developed nowadays. We can't get there in time. By the time we get there, the papers will have been destroyed.
I was failed in this question. I failed this question.
You failed this question. Number
Yes.
7. We can't get there in time. By the time we get there, the papers will have been destroyed. Yes, here the clue that we should be looking for is by the time. That's like the introductory sentence that's going to be for talking about what's coming later in the future, by the time. So we're talking about something that's gonna be happening in the future. Yeah. So this word by the time, that will be introducing a time clause. Yes, that's going to be talking about the future.
I also failed this one. I know that I failed all those that the correct answer have been or had been. For example, in this one, I identified that it was in a future, but I use
Will be
I think
destroyed.
I put will be destroyed.
By the time we get there, the papers will be destroyed. Okay. All
I
right.
put will be destroyed.
How can I notice when I have to use will be or will have been?
Okay, is that these are time clauses, okay? And I can go back and look at the time clauses so that you can have a better sense of this. But when you have here the introductory sentence by the time, it's going to be giving you the clue that this is going to be happening in the future. Okay, but in here we are also talking about the sequence of events. It says by the time we get there, the papers will have been destroyed, meaning that first the papers will be destroyed and then you will arrive. These time clauses are going to help you identify, in this case, future, identify future and put them in a sequence of events. In this case, you're talking about by the time. That means that's already situating you in a point in time. By the time we get there, okay? So that means this is a later in the future than the action that you're talking about then. For example, by the time we get there, so this is after this other idea that you're talking about. So by the time we get there, we will have, the papers will have been destroyed. So these are what we call time clauses. And maybe we can go back and look into this when it talks about a future, because these are future time clauses. So we can definitely go back into that since both of you guys missed this question. So it will be worth a while to get back and look into this. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you
thank
for letting us know. Yes, thank you. You can't come in. She is being interviewed for the TV. Okay. I had an unpleasant feeling that I was being watched. This is easy to recognize because it's the past, right? I had an unpleasant feeling. Let's go to the seminar. It's supposed to be interesting. Yeah. The authorities will make him pay all his debts. He will be made to pay all his debts. And here we already know that it's future because it has will, right? People don't bring up children properly these days. Children aren't brought up properly these days. Yes. In here, we're talking about the present tense, so we continue present tense, okay? Foreign investments have been reduced by 20% since the election. Here, the word that really gives it away, it's since. Since, when you have the word since, just, already, we automatically know that we have to use present perfect. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. They hadn't done any damage to it. No damage had been done to it. Long ago, people thought that the earth was flat. Long ago, the earth was thought to be. And all of that was okay. All right. Now, going back to what you guys were mentioning and it had to do with time clauses for the future. I would like for you to take a look at the same resource that we have been using for grammar topics, but I would like for you to go to Unit 6. In Unit 6, we're going to look into future time clauses, future perfect and future perfect progressive. And here, let me share with you what I am talking about. Unit 6, it talks about future clauses, time clauses. And there is one specific part that I want to show you. Yes. Future time clauses. Yes. Future perfect. Okay, here it is, the topic that I am talking about. Future perfect versus future perfect progressive. Okay, future perfect will have eliminated, will have been using, okay? The future perfect is used to describe events that will be completed at a time in the future. The future perfect progressive describes events that will be in progress at the time in the future. These forms are much more common in speaking than in academic writing. So, for example, we have by 2025, many companies will have eliminated some of their employees' jobs. By 2025, our company will have been using bots for 10 years. How do we form future perfect? This is something that we saw, right? Will have been. We gotta use will plus have plus the past participle form of the main verb. To form the negative, you have to add not between will and have, so it can be won't have. For example, by May, we will have opened the new office. Will the team have finished the project by next week? By next week, the team won't have finished the project. You see? And here it comes, by May, by next week, by that time. You see? In this case, we are putting in order these events that are going to happen in the future. How do we form future perfect progressive? Form the future perfect progressive with will plus have plus been plus the verb with ing. Okay? To form the negative, all you have to do is add not between will and have, and so you will have won't have. For example, by May, I will have been working here for a year. Again, by something, see? We're talking about that at a future time. By that time, by May, by my second birthday, by my second year at school, you see? You're talking about a future time, some kind of time in the future to set that the action is going to happen in the future. And then you set it in contrast to another action that's also in the future, but in a later time or in an earlier time. Yeah? How long will you have been working here? By next month. So I would say by next month, I will have been working here for 9 months. Okay? So that is something that we need to keep in mind. We won't have been working here for very long. Now, future perfect and future perfect progressive contrasted. Okay, use the future perfect for an event that will be completed by a time in the future. For example, I will have made my decision before tomorrow. That means that right now, we are today, okay? And then comes tomorrow, and by that time, I will have made my decision already. Will she have told you her decision by noon? Yes, she will have told me her decision by noon. She will tell me at 11 o'clock. Okay? Use the future perfect progressive for an event that will be in progress at a time in the future. For example, how long will he have been working in the computer industry on his 40th birthday? Now, to answer Ingrid's question, remember, Ingrid, that you were asking me, okay, how do I know, Grace, if I have to use the future perfect or if I have to use the just the future? Okay, well, if we are talking at a future time, yes, and we are using some kind of time clause like by the time, by May, by a future time, okay, then you're talking about an action that will be in progress, or that something yes, something that will be in progress in the future. So if you have a time clause indicator, by the time, by next month, by next year, you are actually putting actions in a sequence of events. So you will have to place the action that's happening later, yes, with will, and will have been the one that was earlier. So remember the sentence that we had in the quizzes, by the time you arrive, you will have been, the papers will have been destroyed. That means that first the papers are destroyed and then later you will arrive. So you see what the time clause is doing is organizing the sequence of events of the future. So closer to to today, closer to the present is the future perfect, yes, and then the future later on, more to the future, if it makes sense. Okay, and I guess this would be better explained in a timeline. So this is the present, right? This is the future perfect. And this is the future. Okay, by this time, by that time, by the time you arrive, you will have, the papers will have been destroyed. Ya habrán sido dañados, destruidos. Para este tiempo ya habrán sido destruidos. That's basically what we're saying in Spanish. Yes? So it is important to pay attention to the time clause, to the beginning of the sentence. That's going to set the idea of like in which sequence of events we are using it, yeah? So that is that. And if you want to check a little more, okay, on this topic, we can definitely go back to this, Unit 6, and work on exercises on page 76, 77, yes? It says, for example, here, this exercise, I think this exercise will be perfect to practice this. I don't think we did this exercise last when we saw Unit 6. It says, read Eric's work schedule, then complete the sentences with the information in the schedule. Use the future perfect progressive N4. For example, here we have, by 4:30 on Tuesday, here we have 4:30. 4:30 is right here, no? It says that from 9 until 5, you're going to attend a software training and bring lunch from home. So by 4:30 on Tuesday, Eric work hours. How many hours will he have been working? Let's count.
I think Tuesday is the first column.
Ah, that's right here. So yes, and here we have by 4:30 on Tuesday. By 4:30 on Tuesday, Eric will have been working for 8 hours. Why? Because he started working at 8:30. Yes, and again, maybe working on a timeline will be better. But so he starts working at 8:30. So that means that 8 hours later is gonna be 4:30. So by 4:30 on Tuesday, Eric will have been working for 8 hours. In the same way, let's do number 2. By 4 o'clock on Tuesday here, Eric discussed the new project hours. Yes, let me make it bigger. Okay, so here, this is Tuesday, okay? By 4 o'clock p.m. on Tuesday, Eric discussed the new project hours.
It should be by 4 o'clock on Tuesday, Eric will have been discussing the new project for 3 hours.
Okay, let's check. By 4 on Tuesday, Eric will have been discussing the new project for 3 hours. Great. See, again, it's because we are using the time clause. Okay, how about we do number 3? Andres, by 6:45 on Tuesday, and you can start thinking about number 4, Ingrid, okay? Andres, let's do number 3. By 6:45 on Tuesday, Eric talk on the phone hour.
Okay. By 6:45 on Tuesday, Eric will have been talking on the phone for 30 minutes.
Okay, and in terms of hour, that will be?
Half an hour.
Half an hour. Great. Yes. Correct. By 6:45 on Tuesday, Eric will have been talking on the phone for half an hour. You see? All right. And Ingrid, can you do number 4?
Yes. By 4 o'clock on Wednesday, Eric will have been attending a software training for 7 hours.
Okay. Great. By 4 o'clock on Wednesday, Eric will have been attending a software training for 7 hours. Great. Okay, so you're starting to see, right? It's all about the time clause that we are using in the beginning. So now let's think about number 5.
Number 5. By 5, I guess 5 a.m. I guess.
I think it's 5 p.m.
Okay. Well,
on Friday. This is, I'm sorry, you can't see. This is Thursday through Friday, Thursday and Friday.
okay. By 5 p.m. on Friday, Eric will have attended software training for 2 days. I don't know.
Okay.
For 2 days or
Okay, because it starts on Wednesday, right? Attend software training. And then Thursday and Friday also attend software training. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So it will be how many days?
3 days.
3 days, correct. So by 5 on Friday, Eric will have been attending a software training for 3 days. Yes. Now, by 7:15 on Friday, Eric worked out at the gym minutes. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Let me make it a little smaller because if not, you're not going to be able to see. Yeah.
No, we saw it.
Okay.
Okay, by 7:15 on Friday, Eric will have been working out at the gym for 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Okay. Or 75 minutes, right? The same thing. Okay. Okay, great. So this is exactly what we needed to practice, right? In order to understand that one question that we both missed. Yeah. Okay. Is this good? Do you think you need a little bit more practice on this? We're good? Okay. So again, all that we need is a time clause, right? Time clauses are going to make a big deal in putting actions in a sequence of events. That's basically what it is, yeah? So pay attention to those time clauses, which are going to really dictate like how much, what tenses you're going to be using, yeah? Alrighty, so moving on. So we looked into some passives, and I was telling Andres as soon as he got here that maybe we need to check other group of passives, okay, that maybe we haven't, we would normally overlook in terms of grammar, yes, but I prefer that we take a look at them, especially the ones, the passives that use get, because as you know, the verb get is very widely used. So it is super important that not only we can make passives, but that we can use it in combinations with get. So for that reason, I would like us to review these passives. So hold on one second. Get out of my way, get out of my way. I don't know what's going on. I was showing a paper now, I don't know. Uh-oh. Okay. This is not what I wanted. Okay, unit 20. Here we go, passives. The second half of the second topic. Okay, here. See, the passives too. This is unit 20, okay, of the same resource, Andres and Ingrid. So you can open this resource from Aula Virtual, okay? You can look into this. All right, so these passives, genetically modified food. We're going to skip this topic because I really only want you to take a look at the passive. The passives are not gonna change much, like I said in the previous class from last week. Passives are never gonna change. The only verb that's gonna change always is the verb to be. That's it. Because if we're using passives in present, the verb to be stays in present tense. If we're going to use passives in the past tense, then the verb to be is going to be in past tense. Now, if we are going to use passives with be going to or the modals, again, the only thing that's gonna change is the verb to be once again. Because the main verb is going to remain in past participle. So I really don't want you to get too much involved in these passives because you already know the same formula per se. So here, for example, people could be harmed. People must be informed. Okay? See, what is being put with the modal is the verb to be. Could be, should be, must be. Yeah? So no big deal, no big change. Yeah? And the same thing happens with the going to. But what I really want us to look into was the one with the verb get. Now, that I do want us to look into because these could be misunderstood. Yeah. Usually when you can get something destroyed, or you can get something done by another person. Okay. So that means that you're changing meanings sometimes. Yeah. So it is very important that we understand how we use get in passives. Yeah. So I want us to stop here. Passive sentences with get instead of be are more informal and are often used to express stronger emotions. Yeah. So if we want to get higher marks in speaking, okay, then we need to use get with passives in speaking. For example, the storm destroyed the crops. That's an active sentence. The crops got destroyed by the storm. Yeah. How do we form these get passives? For the get passive, use a form of get plus the past participle of the main verb. Again, here, get, it's actually getting in the place of the verb to be. Yeah? So the main verb still does not change. It's going to be kept to be used as the past participle of that main verb. So that's something that we need to keep in mind. For example, he is getting transferred to the research department. Our orange trees got damaged last night. In that case, it's past tense, right? Got damaged. For negative statements and questions in the simple present and simple past, you use the form of do plus get and the past participle of the main verb. For example, in my opinion, food doesn't get inspected carefully enough. Did your crops get damaged in the hurricane? No, they didn't get damaged. Okay, so it's just what we are, I guess, conjugating here is the verb get. And the verb that's changing is get. But the main verb remains as past participle, just like we did with the verb to be. Get is taking the place of the verb to be in a sense. Yeah? How do we use them? We often use get passives to talk about negative situations or situations we think are beyond our control. Some food companies are getting fined for using unsafe equipment. See, and in here we are using present continuous. So, get is being used as the verb to be. Now, and here we got some interesting data about the real world. Okay, the get passive is more common in speaking than in general writing. In formal academic writing, the get passive is very infrequent. Okay, so that is something that we really need to know. Yes, it's more used in speaking, so therefore this is something that we might want to use when we are speaking, when we are getting to practice our speaking exam questions, that we use these kind of passives. Yes, because these are going to give us more points. Yeah. So let's exercise how to use these get passives. And here we go. Let's complete the interview about food contamination. We're going to write get passives. Again, the verb get is the one that's changing, and the main verb remains in the past participle form. Yeah. So let's write get passives with the words in the parentheses. If there is a line through the agent, do not use it in the passive. Yeah. For example, the interviewer says, there's been another case of contaminated lettuce. How does this happen? An anonymous lettuce grower agreed to be interviewed if we did not mention his name. So, I hear you're getting investigated by the FDA for problems with food safety. What happened? The grower says, contaminated our lettuce. So, what can we say here? We are going to complete the interview about food contamination, and we're going to use get passives with the words in the parentheses. In here we have contaminated our lettuce.
Maybe it is getting contaminated our lettuce.
It is getting contaminated our lettuce, but what is getting contaminated?
Hmm.
And then the question is in past tense because what happened? What is it that got contaminated? What would be the subject here?
Our lettuce. Our lettuce. Our lettuce got contaminated.
Could
Something
be.
like that.
Yeah, exactly that, actually. Look, our lettuce got contaminated. Yeah, how can we make the question now? We have, did the FDA recall the lettuce?
In passive voice.
Yes, it's with get passives, yes. If we're using past tense, then with the question is going to be using past tense. And we are not going to use the agent if there's a line. Let me make it a little bigger because I know it's difficult to see. Okay, here, for example, we have the FDA is investigating you. So I hear you're getting investigated by the FDA. We put the agent because it's not being crossed out. In here, it's crossed out, so we don't need to put the agent, yeah? So for this reason, it says our lettuce got contaminated because we have to use the get passives. Now here, great, thank you. Now, what about number 3?
It could be the letters.
But it's a question.
Okay. Did the letters?
Okay.
No, I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good so far.
No. Got.
Yes, because the FDA is the
Sorry.
agent.
Did the letters get recalled by the FDA?
Perfect. Did the letters get recalled by the FDA? Okay, good. Now, what are we going to say in number 4? Yes.
Yes, it got recalled.
And we don't use the agent because they crossed it out, so it's not necessary to say. So yes, it got recalled. Yeah, perfect. Now, wait. Anyways, yes, it got recalled. Now, what happened exactly? I am not sure. As you know, pick or produced. Think that produce in this sentence, in this context, is not being used as a verb. It's being used as a noun. Okay?
Produce, got picked.
Got. Why in the past?
gets. Well, I don't know. Produce is a singular or plural,
Produce is a non-count noun.
so it could be a plural.
No, non-count nouns are always singular.
Okay, or produce. Gets picked.
Okay, let me see. Caramba. Excellent. Our produce gets picked. Yeah. Our
Right.
produce gets picked right here on the farm.
And also get packed here.
It also gets packed.
It also gets packed here.
It also gets packed here. Great. So the last one, number 7.
Sometimes it gets mishandled.
Okay, great. Yes, sometimes it gets mishandled. This can cause contamination. Okay. So it is very important that you see, you were like, huh? This is so weird. But we talk that way. We talk that way. Something gets contaminated, something got recalled, okay? So it is important that you use the correct form of the verbs, depending on what you want to express, okay? So get plus the passives, yes, it's totally possible, and it's mainly used in speaking rather than writing, yeah? Here's a little bit more. Don't you have strict procedures? Yes, but it's been very hot lately. Working conditions have been difficult. Perhaps
The workers get distracted.
okay, it's been hard lately. Working conditions have been difficult.
Perhaps the workers are getting distracted.
What tense are you using here? Have been difficult.
Pasado. No.
It's not
Present.
past.
Present
Present.
perfect.
Present perfect. So maybe we want to keep the same tense. What would it be?
It will be the workers have been distracted.
Been. We're not using been, we're using get, remember?
Have
Hmm?
Gotten.
Eso, got it.
Have gotten distracted.
Okay. Perhaps the workers have gotten distracted. All right. Okay. Doesn't check your produce before it goes to the stores.
It could be doesn't your produce.
Doesn't your produce? Yeah.
Doesn't your produce get checked? Get checked.
Get checked because doesn't, it already contains the S, so it doesn't really necessary. Okay. Before it goes to the stores? No.
No, it doesn't get inspected.
Okay. No. It doesn't get inspected. That's our responsibility. And my company is very sorry that we didn't catch it. I see. Well, thank you very much for agreeing to be interviewed. Okay, so let's check in the previous page with the what the correct answers are. Let's see. I went too far. Went too far. Okay, so the workers got distracted, it says. Doesn't your produce get checked? Good. And it doesn't get inspected. Okay, it said it actually said that the workers have gotten distracted. It only says the workers got distracted. In this other one, it says the correct answer. It says that it is, caramba. Terrible esto. Okay. The workers got distracted. Yes. Don't you have strict procedures? Yes, but it's been hard lately. Workers have been difficult. Perhaps the workers got distracted or have gotten distracted. I guess. But the correct answer is got distracted. The workers got distracted. Doesn't your produce get checked before it goes to the stores? No, it doesn't get inspected. That's our responsibility. And in company is very sorry that we didn't. Okay. Okay. So that is get passives. Now a little bit more practice before we are done for the day. Here's a little bit more practice. Hold on. Okay, since we are using get passives more in speaking than in writing, I would like you guys to discuss this over a few minutes here in class, okay? So you can practice your speaking skills, okay? But before you actually discuss your reasons using the get passives, okay? Look at these statements. When a restaurant gets inspected, the result should be posted on the restaurant's front door. Food recalls get publicized too much. This hurts farmers, and a lot of perfectly good food gets thrown away. If a supermarket sells spoiled food, the manager should get fired. If a restaurant gets temporarily shut down for food safety problems, no one should ever eat there again. All foreign fruit and vegetables should get inspected before entering the country. Go ahead and check all the statements that you agree with. And based on those statements, you're going to be discussing your reasons and using get passives, okay? But first, select, you can mark here my presentation, okay? Which of these statements you completely agree with?
Sorry, what does it refer to food recalls?
When they take away your food, they take away the produce because something is wrong with it. They take away your products.
Okay.
Remember that here in the other activity, it says, I said something about did it get recalled? Yes, it got recalled by the FDA. That means that they called it, they take it out of the market. They take it out of the market. That is to be recalled.
Well, I think I maybe disagree with the.
No, agree. The ones that you agree with, only mark. Mark the ones that you agree with.
Okay.
Uh-huh. All right. What about you, Ingrid? Or you already marked also the
Mark. Mine's outside the
outside the box?
door. Yes.
Okay. All right. So now I can see that both of you agree with that restaurant gets inspected. When a restaurant gets inspected, the results should be posted on the restaurant's front door. Okay. You both agree on that all foreign fruit and vegetables should get inspected before entering the country. And only Ingrid is agreeing that if the restaurant gets temporarily shut down for food safety problems, no one should ever eat there again. Okay, so since there is one that you guys are not agreeing with, let's have a discussion. Okay, Ingrid says if a restaurant gets temporarily shut down for food safety problems, no one should ever eat there again. That's what Ingrid is agreeing with. Andres, you disagree with that, right? Okay. Ingrid, can you tell us, you're going to, not with me, you're going to discuss directly with Andres about your reasons, why you agree with this, and then Andres will tell you why he disagrees with that. Okay? Go ahead.
Okay.
Ladies first.
Thanks. I think that when a restaurant get shut down due to sanitary aspects, it is a bit difficult that they can manage again the inequity in in their infrastructure. Maybe the infrastructure is already full of vectors, and maybe they don't have enough money in order to adequate all the infrastructure. And I think that if they did it once, maybe they are going to do it again.
Okay.
At least in my personal opinion, when all the times that I have had a bad experience with food, I I never come back to the same place. Even years passing many years, I don't come back.
Well, I agree with your position, with your opinion. But I disagree with the word ever. I mean, what happened if the restaurant uh, got gets uh, uh, bought by another person, by another manager? Maybe this new manager or maybe this new owner, it could be um, uh, people people who understand the importance of the healthy and uh, the importance of having the restaurant in a, I mean, in a clean and well, maybe cared. I don't know. It's a possibility. So maybe in this case, I would consider the possibility to come back to this restaurant to have a dinner or lunch. I don't know.
Okay. Okay, remember that you want to use get passives as much as possible. So maybe yes, like Andres said, right? Maybe the place gets bought by a different manager, and they get and they get some other procedures implemented. Other procedures get implemented in order to keep the place safe to eat. So it could be. Okay. Okay, but again, if nothing changes, I guess it would be more like Ingrid's idea, then maybe it's not a safe thing to return to that place, because chances are that no changes have been made, and that if they got inspected, there's a reason, and they can get inspected again for the same reasons if there have been no changes made. So, okay. Wonderful. All right, so here we go. That is get passives. Get passives. I hope that if you hadn't seen this before, I hope that this is better now and that you're able to use it appropriately in sentences and also now in speaking, right? Get passives. So we're going to do one more activity, and then we will be done for the day. And here we go. Here's a link where we will be practicing. Let's copy the link. And you can join also. There. You can join. Or you can scan the code, whichever one is easier for you. All right, let's go.
We're in top 3.
Yes, and let's check because these questions some are like weird. Let's double check what we got, okay? Because
I used the be form, not get form, and I thought it was correct, but
I'm
okay,
I
so we
want
will
to
check. Uh-huh.
I want to sorry because I am in the car and I had to go out, so I am in the car and I was writing so fast in some stops, so I mistake
Oh,
some words, but some
yes, for
letters.
example, here, look. And that's why you didn't get it, but you got it correct. Get cleaned. You got it. Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry.
It's okay, don't worry. Okay, in here, in the next one, it gets used. Never gets used. Remember
I
the
could
verb.
get useful.
No. Remember that we're using the get passive. So we need to use the verb, the main verb, in past participle. So my old computer never gets used these days because I bought a new one. The get passive. You need to use get plus the main verb in the past participle form. I think you
But
got
it
confused or
makes
something.
sense if I say my old computer never gets useful. No?
No, never gets used.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And when
Aha.
foreign films are dubbed into English, usually a lot of the original meaning gets lost in the translation. A lot of the original meaning gets lost, meaning it's a non-count noun, so it needs to be in present tense. So gets, and then the main verb in past participle. Here, the main verb is lose, so the past participle is lost. You got that one right, but we forgot the get. Remember, we're using get passives. Gets lost. If my car was damaged, by you will pay for the repairs. Remember that we are using get passives.
I know, but B was damaged is also right.
Yes, but I'm grading you on get passives, which is what we're practicing.
But it's the same.
Correct, but we are learning get passive, so I expected you to put, if my car gets damaged by you will pay for the repairs. If my car gets damaged.
Okay.
And it will not be correct because it is in past tense. Even if it was with the verb to be, it has to be, if my car is damaged by you will pay for the repairs. Okay?
And why not in past tense? It already happened. The car.
Right. No, because if you had the past tense, then you will have would. You would pay for the repairs. Like the second conditional. If you have will in the other clause, you have to use present tense in the first one. Yes. For the conditionals. That's the rule of the conditionals. If you use, this is first conditional. If you use, the first clause has to be in present tense and then the other one has to be with will. If you are using the first part of the main, one of the clauses in past tense, then the other one has to use would.
Okay.
And, yes. Now here, did you hear that Jim promote at work? Did you hear that Jim got promoted at work? What great news. So here we did not get it correct. Pay. to travel for a living must be nice. In here, very good. You both used INGs, the gerunds, okay? But you were supposed to use get. You got get, but then you didn't put the verb in the correct form and you used the verb to be. So if we put both together, you got it right. Getting paid. Getting paid to travel for a living must be nice. There was a car crash downtown yesterday. Thankfully, nobody, if we're talking about in the past tense, nobody. What is the past tense of get?
Got
Okay, so thankfully nobody got hurt.
hurt.
Yes. We're getting married next year. I'm so excited. That one you got it all correct. Wonderful. Hug Jackman is getting asked about his new movie for a magazine interview. Got that one right? So you just forgot the get part, Andres. That was it. You forgot the get part.
But can't I say Hugh Jackman is asked about his new movie?
Well, I'm sorry, can you say what is?
Asked.
Yes, but not if we are using get passives, no.
I know, but if we are
In general, yes,
Huh.
yes, yes. Hugh Jackman is asked about his new movie for a magazine interview. Yeah, it's like we are like narrating something that happens. It could happen. Yeah, but then we're saying completely different things. Yeah. All right. Well, the important part here is that you know that get passives are pretty much useful more in talking than anything. Yes, that the get actually takes place of the verb to be. Okay. And once again, when we are using passives, the verb that remains in past participle is the main verb. And the verb that changes is the verb to be. And it can also get replaced completely by the verb get. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. If in the future for exam type questions, they ask you to rewrite something, not changing the meaning, but using get and another verb, now you know, I can replace the verb to be using get. Yeah, so that's another way we can think of how this will be useful for B2 type questions in the exam. Yeah, so that will be it for today, guys. I will see you hopefully on Thursday for our next class this week. And that should be all. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye-bye. Have a good one. Good night.